Welcome to The Culture. We rest at the pulse of the community, providing all things news, music, fashion, events, and everything that we talk about in between. It's a lifestyle. We are The Culture.
Good day. Thank you for joining us. Our show this week is brought to you by Florida for All. This August, let's vote for candidates who will fight for what matters to us. Vote by mail, vote early, or on Election Day, August 18th. And joining us today is someone who knows a lot about voting. It's Miami-Dade County Commissioner Barbara Jordan. Welcome to the show today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, the pleasure is all ours. And speaking of pleasure, I know that annually you are very passionate about your summer program. And I remember coming to speak to Miami's next batch of leaders. Those students were so on fire. How did it go this year with COVID? Were you able to move forward without any interruption?
Oh, no, not at all. You know, we were in the midst of COVID, did not want to take any risk at all. We had identified our business partners and they were still willing to participate, but we did not want to risk anything regarding the health and safety of the young adults who would have been a part of the program. So we decided not to proceed with it. Because
Okay.
if any one of those kids had gotten infected in any way, I never would have been able to forgive myself.
Yes. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
And with George Floyd here in America, we're talking a lot about disparities across the spectrum, from lack of Black leadership in the boardroom to the ability to take a knee for police brutality on the sidelines in sports. It's just raised a lot of awareness about civilian police oversight panels, which many Miamians saw in 1980 after the acquittal of 4 Miami-Dade police officers in the killing of Arthur McDuffie. It was dissolved in 2009, and you, Commissioner Jordan, have been working to bring it back. In 2016, you sponsored it, and then again in 2018, and both times it was vetoed by the mayor, and here we are. But this week, the revised charter amendment to get this on our November ballot failed, but I understand there is still some hope. Can you explain where we are and how we may be able to help you in getting it passed?
Well, one of the things that made me do the charter amendment was the fact that at the whim of the budget cycle, it was easy to eliminate the independent review panel that they had back, started after the McDuffie riots. And I wanted to take that option out. If we could make it a part of the charter, it would not be an option just because you have a budget situation that you would elect to eliminate the office of independent review panel. So if we had it as a part of the charter, going into the charter, it would be something that would be ingrained in sort of the constitution of the county. And that's why I put the item on, so that it would not just be at the whims of a budget process. And I also sponsored, along with that, the ordinance in order to make sure that we were able to implement it. And the one thing that the people wanted, the committee of citizens who were a part of the planning process, was to make sure that we had subpoena power. And the other 2 versions that I had were vetoed by the mayor because we included subpoena power for county employees. Well, when we had the meeting on Tuesday of this week, of course, the charter review item came back up again. And it was voted and it passed with 8 votes. However, in order for it not to have the override of the mayor, we needed 9 votes. He had committed not to veto it, but at the time that it was on, we needed 2/3 of the commission vote in order for it to pass, which would have been the 9 votes still. And I was only able to get the 8 votes. So that item did not pass for the charter amendment. But I had already put an item back on again to bring it back through ordinance. And that item is coming up on August 31st. And the good thing about it I have high hopes, even though I don't expect to get 9 votes for a veto override. I do expect to get the 8 votes, and the mayor has put on the record that if it did not include subpoena powers to subpoena county employees and the commission and mayor, that he would not do the veto. He not only put that on record on camera, but he also put it in writing. So I fully expect that we will get the 8 votes and we will have a civilian oversight board before the year is out.
That is awesome. And is there anything that you need from any of our residents who are just ready to do whatever it is that it needs to do to help to get this passed or to move forward?
Absolutely. You know, I think the citizens' process of calling their commissioners, their elected officials, ensuring that they continue to support this item. We have 5 commissioners who have vehemently opposed this item from the very beginning, and call them as well. That's Commissioner Sosa, Commissioner Martinez, Commissioner Bobo, Commissioner Diaz, and Commissioner Soto. So call those commissioners as well, because I'd like for this to be a community effort, one that involves all 13 commissioners, because what happens in Miami-Dade County doesn't just impact a segment of our community, it impacts the entire community. And until we start to embrace the fact that there are issues that are prominent in certain ethnic groups being punished far greater than others, we will never come together as a community. We have to recognize that when one person suffers in our midst, that the whole community suffers. And to single out a single ethnic group to say that we're going to stop and frisk you, we're going to have a reason to search you, we're going to have a reason just to have you pulled over, for the most part, simply because you're Black. Or if a situation escalates with a police officer, it doesn't have to be that way. And with other ethnic groups, things may say, okay, you can move on, everything checked out, you can move on. But with Black individuals and brown individuals, it seems to escalate. And we need to start recognizing that.
Yes, we do. I even noticed here recently, I've seen a lot of viral videos where there is excessive force by the police, even in the Hispanic community. And
Right.
I was confused as to why those commissioners voted against it when it seemed as if it was something that was just skewed to the Black community, but I see it happening to the Hispanics. Is there any way that we will be able to, other than calling them, how can we bring those Hispanic leaders into the fold to really understand the severity of the situation?
I think that they have to see more examples of where it's happening. At one meeting, I had 3 situations that I was going to play for the public. And I decided not to because I thought it would be much too insightful to do that. It would cause a situation that I felt where I was not going to get their support in the first place to escalate in the community. And I did not want to do that. So instead of bringing up the videos of the situations that occurred, I talked about them. I think that the constituents who are electing these commissioners need to call them directly and hold them accountable, because that's why we say Black and brown communities. And for the most part, it is happening. And I'm not saying that our police department is a bad police department, because I'm very proud of Miami-Dade Police Department. I feel that we have a wonderful leader that when he knows something has happened, he takes it and he deals with it immediately. He doesn't even wait for a review process, especially if there's video. But if there's not video, what do we do then? That's why we need a civilian review panel, because then individuals can file their complaints with that panel. We will have investigators who will go out. And by the way, even though I did eliminate the part where subpoena power would be for county employees and for the elected officials, it is still there for any citizen who witnessed something. We can still have subpoena power to get documents and video that may have occurred. So we will still have subpoena power, but we would never have been able to subpoena police officers anyway because of the Policeman's Bill of Rights, and that's a state law. But we would have been able to subpoena other county employees who may have been witnesses. So that piece has been eliminated because to me, it was far greater. It was more important than to hold it up, to take that piece out so we can get it on the books. Get it on the books and get it started. Sometimes you have to compromise to win. And that's what I see it as being, a win.
Awesome. Now, I can't let you go without talking about all of the wonderful things that you have been able to accomplish for Miami-Dade County. And unfortunately, this upcoming few weeks, actually, well, a little over a month, you will be termed out. I want to know, what good trouble are you going to get yourself into?
Well, I get in trouble all the time on the commission.
Yes.
So I'm going to be let loose. And that could be pretty dangerous for Miami-Dade County.
Yes.
No, but it will be good trouble because, as I said on the dais on Tuesday, even though the referendum item failed, I will be a private citizen in November. And is it Arnold Schwarzenegger that says, I'll be back.
Yeah.
And I'll be back for that referendum and make sure that it's back on the commission agenda. And you're going to have a new commission, in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I'll be back. I'll be getting into some good trouble.
You will. I know you will. You promised us that you're going to get into good trouble. Well, thank you so much, Commissioner Jordan, for taking time out to join us. I appreciate the service on behalf of everyone in Miami-Dade County. You have served us well. Are there any other closing thoughts that you would like to leave
Yes,
viewers?
there are a couple.
Okay.
First of all, I'd love for the community to realize we're at a critical stage. If you don't do anything else, get out and vote. If you don't vote by mail, go to your precinct and vote. But most of all, stay safe. Make sure you're practicing healthy, safe distancing and wearing your mask. But don't forget to vote.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for joining us. And we thank our sponsor for today, Florida for All. Don't forget to join the culture later on this evening at 6 p.m. live, where we'll come back with my 2 cents. If you're looking to follow us on any social media platform, you can follow us at The Culture. And thank you again, Commissioner Jordan, for your time. We appreciate you, and we'll see all of you again next time.
Thank you.
The Culture is produced and owned by Hip Rock Star Media and cannot be reproduced or broadcast without written consent by Jessica Garrett Modkins. All rights reserved 2020.